things are changing in this universe as usual, although now we have a very new wrinkle, which brings further question on what awaits us. The Eden Zero Chapter 2 to 6 from me, the Anger of the Despair Viewer. It turns out that the Moscow clone is not a female Moscow clone, it's literally just a Moscow in drag. Rebecca remembers Iliga, the frog that gave her some humiliation. And according to Sister, Iliga is one of Draken's financial sources, which actually makes sense given that if it had money, although turning people into furniture, I have no idea how we would pay them for that. So either way, the Moscow moment, in this one, Iliga was gonna become, make these pretty girls into furniture just as last time, but doing the soap disgusting as before. But the Moscow throw off his clothes and then actually managed to break through the glass and plant a Galactic Yokozuna style heave-ho palm right on Iliga's face. Normally that would be badass if it weren't for the fact that Iliga is kind of a joke. So, although the girls having their clothing pretty dissolved, Moscow says that they should run away, but they're also saying this is different though than the before. Before there were E-cubers and stuff like that. But these are all girls that have been in debt to Draken, because no matter where they run, Draken will find them. But it is all a profitable scam, and Sister will defeat Draken. Either way, Iliga tells his guard to go ahead. Elsewhere, the gang heads towards Belia Gore, where they know they will find Draken, and a familiar face snipes at them, but they manage to protection guard, as it actually turns out that Sister gave a taunt to Draken saying, okay, now it is war. I've actually, and saying something like, we didn't want to win that easily. So, Sister, please tell us that we will win this easily. Just because you get your memories back and presumably all your powers, I do not think it's going to be that easy. Especially by the end of this one. But if it's going to be easy, then I'm all for it. Either way, it turns out that now that Wise got his memory back, he has created an arsenal, but that is an arsenal prototype. And mind you, that this design looks way less cool than the previous one. As it turns out that Hermito is the one who had perfected the design. So Wise is just doing a prototype. And he heads towards the sniper's dissection, which is still Phi, the fire spirit. And so also the wood guy from way before also appears with the same chocolate. So Rebecca kicks him before he says that, saying now that she has a score to settle with him. We actually see some ether lines on her body, even though technically cat lever shouldn't work. But we also see now that she has normal guns on her waists. And finally, as they enter, they see Klein and Jin, confirming that Jin and Klein are actually working for Draken in this universe as well. And given the lines that Jin has, it seems to imply that he's an O-Tech in this one as well. But the biggest surprise comes of the fact that Klein in this universe apparently still have her emotions, which means that the trauma of that she experienced may not actually have happened. But if Jin is an O-Tech, then what has happened? Either way, Sister tells Shiki to go on ahead, and she will handle them and make them remember. But I actually don't think that is going to work. Because so far it seems to imply that the one who triggers all the emotions and the memories are Chiki. No one else who's gotten their memories rebooted. Either way, Sister is kinda shocked at the fact that Klein have her emotions in this universe. Very likely implying that there is a very much more darker theme to it all. But the biggest surprise comes that Shiki manages to clear out some grunts, and that is not the surprise. The surprise suddenly is from a voice creating water that washes them away, which Shiki manages, well, almost washes them away until Shiki managed to deflect it with water. The weird thing is, this person says the same power as the Emperor, as he shows himself. And it turns out that it's not Laguna. No. It is one who bears the name of a sea god in the cosmos of the dancing fish. But now he is one who rules by Draken's side of the cosmos of the fluttering cherry blossoms. Still holding what is called the Emperor dies. It is Poseidon Nero, who is the new element of water, not Laguna. This universe keeps getting more and more strange of it all. But already from those lines alone we got numerous hints. And what are those numerous hints? Well, the first thing is that Nero says the same power as the Emperor. And given the fact that Nero seems to not be the Emperor of this universe, this seems to imply that Shura is the Emperor of the outer cosmos. Or is he the dictator? Well, given the fact that in the previous universe Shura was scum, are we to assume that that one is scum as well? Well, he was more likely the biggest threat. That also begs the question on why is not Laguna here? Laguna joined the Draken not only to well stabilize the ether, but also to getting firepower to fight Nero. But now Nero is not the Emperor. But Shura was big enough, powerful threat all in itself, which seems to imply that Laguna has never left the Aoi cosmos. He is still with, maybe he is still with the rebels. Maybe it's not exactly known. The fact that Nero says that he is ruling by Draken's side brings another thing, neat thing of it all. Remember that line that Cure dropped, that he gave the powers to Draken, Yo, and Nero? In this universe they are working together, well, allegedly. Is it connected to the fact that that Cure has given them the power as well? I mean, I had the awesome theory that maybe Cure in this universe is actually the Eden Swan's avatar. Or at least will be. I mean, it would have been a nice twist, but Hiromashima is not the kind of guy who does things like that, so it's very likely not true. But yeah, Klein has her memories. So what kind of trauma did happen in this universe? Did it happen anything at all? The girls that Liga was gonna use were all in debt with Draken. The guys are heading to confront Draken, but please tell me they have the power to actually defeat them. And finally, Nero is their water spirit. Laguna is nowhere to be found, which means that he won't be found. Can Colleen and John get back their memories of the universe? I am pretty skeptic, but that's because I am skeptic. So, yeah. But also, Nero still has his Emperor dies. Or at least, if they really are the Emperor dies in this universe. Maybe it's a gag of it all. Well, who knows? Give me your thoughts if you have any.